Hello, hello, and welcome back. Thank you everybody for joining me once again. And I hope you're all having an amazing and festive holiday season. So let's get more of the holiday spirit keeping and going, Alright. So, I will imagine taking you. I'll make you imagine. Actually, you will be imagining yourself having another dream where you get a magical PlayStation 5 for Christmas. Something is magical about that PS5. And so, let's begin, alright? Your dream now starts, your dream begins, okay? It is the morning of Christmas Day. It is Christmas Day, December 25th. And it is now morning, and the sun is bright and high. It is shining through the living room that you're now in. As you have woken up in your dream. You're very, very, very excited to open up your Christmas presents, alright? And you are now at the living room. So the living room is very, very, very bright with the sun once again shining the daylight. And you have this Christmas tree, a beautiful Christmas tree with white lights twinkling. And underneath are presents, different presents for you. And you can no longer wait. To open them. Alright, to open them. So, you start to open your first present. You get a very nice sweater. It is very cool, and you really like it. You open other presents. You get money. You have a $25 gift card from whatever store. Just whatever $25 gift card you can think of. I'm not going to name the actual store or something. And there is this big box that you cannot wait to open. The box says, to your name, insert your name here, so it's for you. And you begin to unwrap it, okay? And as you unwrap it, you see the words, the three characters, the three letters or numbers you would really want to see. PS5. Okay. Wow. You see the big game console, or striped black zebra colored console. It's very narrow, and it has this game controller beside it on a display and the image, and you're very, very happy. You are so happy that you decide to jump. You decide to keep jumping. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are very, very happy. Okay. Alright. to set up your brand new PS5, okay? Alright. Okay. And you go straight to the TV and you hook your new PS5, okay? I can get something really quick. It's this coffee crisp. So, it is very, very exciting, and you finally get it to hook up, and you realize that the gift also comes with a game that is kind of like a survival game. You kind of forget the title of the game, but it is a survival game. And or something like that. Alright. Okay. So you go ahead and boot up the game, and you see the title screen. The title screen that you cannot wait to see. It finally appeared on the screen, and oh boy, it worked without any problems. Alright, you don't want anything to happen, anything wrong, and everything seems to happen very smoothly. Okay. And you starting your game. You press the start button or whatever, start game. And oh boy, after a loading screen, you see a wooded area, some outdoor wooded area, and at first it looks like a picture, and oh boy, you cannot wait to start your game. Okay, you expect to see a character that you have to control, but nothing happens. You start to wonder, what's going on? Is the game frozen? Because all you see is just wooden area with trees, a path, and some torches along the side. So, as you start to look at it, and it feels like it's like some sort of medieval place, okay? You wait a good 2 minutes, okay? Then as you wait, you suddenly notice something off. You notice that the air feels fresh, as if somebody opened a window. And you started to feel wind, okay? As if you are outside. But no windows are open. You just wonder why. Where is the wind coming from? It seems like it's coming from the TV. But the TV can't make wind, and no windows are open, okay? And you realize that although the game is running, you feel that the air feels warmer, okay? And more fresh, as if you're feeling the outside. And suddenly you see a big butterfly come into your room. And that's not possible. It is winter time. There is snow outside, and now there's a butterfly that comes into your room. It's not summertime. And after a few seconds of noticing the butterfly, you notice that it came from the TV. And the TV started to feel staticky. So wait a minute. It's not. How can something come from a TV? There shouldn't be a butterfly coming from a TV. So you go ahead and try to investigate the TV, the flat screen TV. Maybe there is some hidden nest somewhere. But as you do, you suddenly stumble and fall forward. Okay. And as you fall forward, things just happen in quick succession, okay? First you fall, and then you hit grass. Actual grass, okay. Alright. And the air feels more fresh as you take your next breath, okay? And it is very, very unusual to feel grass after falling because you are now in the living room. And it's also that it is winter and there's snow instead of that's covering the grass, okay? That is covering the grass. Okay. And now you stand up and you notice that you are outside. You are outside, okay? And like, wait a minute. It is no longer winter. It is summer. For some reason. You're now standing out in the woods. And after 10 seconds, you realize that the woods that you're at right now, they're inside right now, was the same exact woods that you saw in the game on the screen. And now, all of a sudden, you realize that you are now inside the game. You now realize that the game you're playing now is now, you're now in it, okay? Is now within you, okay? You are no longer in the living room, but instead, you're now in the game, okay? So, you look down at the grass, you look at your hands, you notice that your hands are different. You notice that there's these feather-like patterns on your hands, and your arms too feel more muscular, okay? And your skin is very pale. Okay, like actual almost white. So, as you look behind you and around you, you notice that you are not the same human being as you are in real life, but instead, you are this humid subhuman with a beard. Some rigid arms are so strong you can lift out trees. And you also feel very, very light, despite having those big, thick muscles. You feel very light, okay? And as you look, as you start to move, you notice that there is this weight at the back. And as you look, you have big wings. You have big feathers, okay, behind you. And you realize that you are controlling a character within the video game. And the wings are very bright orange feathers that make up the entire wings of you, the video game you, okay? Your eyes are now the screen. Your whole vision is within the game. You don't have a controller. You don't have a PS5 controller. You are now controlling it. You can move, you can walk, you can jump, and you can dash. And speaking of dashing, you realize that you have abilities, okay? One of the abilities is that you can dash forward for a brief moment and everything around you will jump. Like bushes, people would jump violently, okay? So like a dash and rock or something like that. you have other abilities too. The next ability that you have is one that you can shoot your own feathers, which kind of absorb energy from the target, like an object, an animal, or some sort of enemy that you can imagine using against. And if you hit something that has energy, it will heal you. So if you were injured, you could use this feather shoot ability, and then you can heal yourself briefly, okay? And the third ability that you can have is that you can dash at different allies that you have. So you're not alone in this game. You have these allied friendly creatures or characters that are around you, and you can dash through it. You can dash through them multiple times, and your feathers will zoom. You could use your feathers. You could use your feathers to fly out to your allies and be safe. Because you are a bird-like creature or character in this survival game, okay? There is this also another ability that you can use, which you will have to stand up and wait, like channel for a few seconds, and you'll be teleported back to a familiar area. It's like a base that you have, and you have a base that in the center of the base is this magical giant gem, like a big castle-like structure. And your goal of this game is to protect it from hostile characters, okay? So this is really a medieval-like game. And there are spells that you have, and so does your allied creatures. So speaking of allied creatures or characters, they are not the same as you. You are a bird-like character, and your allies could be different ones. Could be a dog or beast, another bird, or just another girl that has this magical wand that shoots light beams or something like that, or this character that is a burning man and can shoot fireballs and shoot flaming geysers upwards or something like that. Some fireman. Alright. So, as you are exploring this wooded area, leaving your so-called base, you notice that some of the characters that you see in the game are not friendly at all. You notice that some of them are hostile, and they are after you to try to take you down, okay? So you happen to encounter one. You don't remember what character it is, but it's this tiny character that shoots poison darts at you. He has a hat, and he likes to plant mushrooms, okay? Alright. And he is after you, and he's trying to shoot darts at you. So, your goal is to fight. So, to recall, you have this ability. You have this ability that you can control. Keep in mind that you are controlling, you are that character. And you could dash to that not foreign, but hostile character that is shooting darts at you. And as you dash, you happen to be in slow motion, as if time suddenly slows down in half, okay? So, at one point, you land on the target, which is your enemy. And after a few seconds, the enemy jumps like the ground shakes and launches itself in midair, getting knocked back. And after the knockback, the enemy falls down and faints. And everything happened in slow motion during this ability or spell. And as the enemy faints, everything returns to normal speed. So you realize your combat, every time you fight or every time you cast a spell, things go in slow motion, at least in half speed. And like, wow, it feels very good. You are controlling your character, and you have beaten one enemy. Okay. So now as you explore, you just decide to teleport back to your base because you hear something from your base. Some sort of commotion going on, a fight. And you have to teleport to your base. So, you are at your base, and every time, keep in mind that a fight happens, things go in slow motion, and now you are at your base, and as you look, you see that there is a fight going on. You have your allied characters, and the hostile characters that are your enemies that you have to take down against, that you have to fight against, okay? So you start using your healing ability, okay, to heal your allies and to do your dashes against the enemies. And you dash, boom, you strike a few enemies and you damage them, okay? And the fight seems to go okay. Suddenly you see your screen turn red. Your eyes are your screen. Remember, you are now in the game. You're in the game still. And your eyes turn red. Your vision turns red. And now it feels like day has turned to night for a short time, okay? Like, the trees are red, everything is red, and you can only see a couple of feet in front of you. You are suddenly nearsighted, and you realize it is one of the spells your enemy has casted against you and your allies, okay? And as this effect happens, you notice this massive meteor, a massive projectile that is being launched against your allies, and you see it strike the surface behind you. Boom. Once again, it's in slow motion. And boom, you realize that after a few seconds, you feel like things have gone really bad. And the air suddenly goes back to normal. Your vision goes back to normal, okay? At least the effect is gone. But the aftermath is a bit pretty not good. It's not good. You see that a lot of your allies have been severely damaged. Okay, there is no blood, but you could see that their state is not perfect. It's like they are not very strong, okay? Their state are at a state where they could barely fight. So, what you do, you use your feather throwing ability to your enemies, and you successfully touch the targets, and every time you get to heal yourself and a few allies, okay? And now your allies seem to be more healthier after your ability. and you realize that you are a support character. Alright, a character that doesn't always deliver the last blows to the enemy. Instead, it supports your team of allies and yourself. Okay? And your allies are now fighting against the enemy. There is this one horde of enemies that are now after your main castle structure of your base. One of your allies has casted a big spell which shoots this giant geyser of flames that come off the ground, and as the spell goes, again in slow motion, the fire comes up, and after, the whole entire horde of enemies is wiped off thanks to the allied character that shoots this giant geyser. Okay, it's one of the spells of your allied character, this fireman. Okay, which is like a human figure with flames all over his body, like a burning man. Okay, he can shoot fireballs, he can shoot geysers, and shoot fireballs that ricochet, bounce back enemies, and burn them to hell. Okay, alright. So, as the fight continues, there is this one enemy that seems to be trying to flee, but this lady, one of your allies, shoots a light beam as a spell and targets the enemy and knocks the enemy down, and appears that you have won the fight. Okay. So, the game still progresses, and you are really trying to beat the game. So how do you beat the game? There is this path that goes forward, and you have to leave the base, and you have to destroy another base that the enemies have to protect, and you, with your team, now heal up in their base, and you together strive down the path down towards the enemy's base. Okay, so now the game progresses, and as you walk, you notice that the enemies are trying to ambush you, and all of a sudden, inside the woods, the wooded area where you kind of started it, there is another fight. It breaks out. Okay, this other fight, it just starts in a bang. You dash forward into the enemy, and you realize that you have one more spell that you have not used yet. It is a ultimate spell, and as you start to use it, you realize it can move super fast, and as you hit enemies with it, you realize that enemies get distracted and start following you for a short time. Okay, and as the enemies are affected, your allies jump into action. Okay, everything, remember, is in slow motion. Everything is in slow motion. Okay, everything is in slow motion. Okay, and your enemies are fighting against you. Once again, the sky turns red. Your vision goes nearsighted. You see this giant projectile come toward you and your team. And as it impacts, boom, it happens again. Your team is now suffering a lot of damage, taking so much damage, and you have to start healing you and your team, okay? You use your feather throwing ability at enemies to try to heal you and your team up. And you successfully healed you and your team to a good, decent, although not perfectly healed team. Okay. And you see this fire dude shoots flames at enemies and bounces off back and forth. And one by one, the enemies get taken down. Okay. And this lady with this magical wand shoots a giant beam of light straight across this entire screen and annihilates the rest of your enemy team, and you realize that this is a team game. You thought it was like a survival game, but it's more of a team survival game. And boom, everybody in the enemy team is dead. And you go with your team, you go with your team, you go with your team. And you march forward, and you manage to reach the enemy base. And you see this giant structure, okay? It's a different color, but it is a hostile one. So you and your allies go ahead and destroy this giant structure, okay? And right before you can destroy this entire structure, you happen to wake up. Okay. And you see this bright daylight that has the similar color as the structure of the enemy base. And you have woken up and the dream is over. Okay. Alright. So you assume, just assume that you have won the game. Okay. And now you are back to reality. Okay. So this is the end of this dream imagination video. I hope you get your tingles. Okay. This dream video is actually a modified dream. A modified version, like a modified, tweaked version of a dream that I had a long time ago. It's actually a video based on a video I made 4 years ago. The link is in the description of the original. It's basically me imagining having a dream where I control somebody in League of Legends. Okay. And I tried to make a few modifications and add a bit of a Christmas feel to it. Okay. So if you enjoy this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay. And so I make ASMR formatted videos, from dream imagination videos to fact telling ASMR, some probably maybe gaming ASMR videos or coding ASMR videos. I have not done that in forever, but I also make ASMR videos of the back rooms if you happen to be interested in that. Alright, please go ahead and watch those. You may get more tingles, okay? And so, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next